What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another video. Join us now as we look at this week's edition of Raw, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including the truth behind Seth Rollins' injury, WWE censored Raw, Goldberg injured the referee in his last match, WWE release a new title, was AJ Lee ever planned for Evolution, a top AEW star almost retired, WWE planning a major angle, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Now, as always, we'll recap the show, but just look at the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. As always, we start off with the good, as number 1, the women take center stage. The opening of Raw saw new world champion Naomi get confronted by both Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. It was then announced that at SummerSlam, a triple threat would take place for Naomi's world title. Granted, this segment was short, but it was effective, and the match makes a ton of sense for SummerSlam. Number 2, Seth Rollins mystery. The WWE are keeping the status of Seth Rollins' injury strictly confidential. In a backstage segment, Paul Heyman would state that it's too early to reveal his status, but with Rollins having until June 2026 to cash in, his status as Mr. Money in the Bank shouldn't be in doubt. Number 3, full-time Nikki Bella. It looks like Nikki Bella is back full-time. Bella would have her first singles match since 2018's Evolution, where she would take on Chelsea Green on Raw last night, and when she was outsmarted by Green's allies, Stephanie Vaquer made the save. Or should we say Stephanie Vaquer made the save? It's been speculated that Bella and Green could be joined by another talent to take on the Secret Her service. Number 4, a television classic. Lyra Valkyria yet again showed the world why she's a future world champion in WWE. Her 2 out of 3 Falls match versus Bayley on Raw was one of the top TV matches in the entire year, and it was welcome to see WWE devote a solid 20 minutes to the matchup. Valkyria will now move on to SummerSlam to take on Becky Lynch for the Intercontinental title in what will likely act as the final match of their rivalry. Number 5, an hour-long gauntlet. The WWE have mastered TV gauntlets in recent years, and last night was no exception. The gauntlet made for fantastic television, and the match took up virtually the entire final hour of Raw. The match was given a chance to breathe and get everyone in the match over, and as expected by many, CM Punk came out victorious, and Punk will now take on Gunther for the world title at SummerSlam in what is likely going to be the main event of Night 1. Number 6, Roman Reigns is back. Now, at long last, Roman Reigns is back on WWE television as the OTC1. Reigns returned following the main event of Raw, saving Punk and Jey Uso from a vicious beatdown. Reigns, as usual, received a thunderous reaction from the live crowd, and in relation to his SummerSlam direction, it looks like he'll be teaming with Jey Uso against the Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed tag team, and a big focus on SummerSlam. And it seems that WWE have learned their lesson when it comes to lackluster builds to PLEs. Last night, SummerSlam was the main focus throughout the show, and even Adam Pearce stated that the show needs to be as epic as possible. WWE has a 2-night show set for SummerSlam this year, so the show has to deliver, and quite frankly, the matches have a WrestleMania-esque feel to them. But that was good. What about the bad is number 1, changing rules. WWE have a habit of changing rules when they see fit. Last night, whilst the gauntlet match was outstanding, there was confusion over the rules. Traditionally, gauntlet matches aren't no DQ. However, numerous times throughout the gauntlet, a DQ should have been called, and for whatever reason, the referee would look on completely oblivious. But there was no downright ugly. Nothing on this show this week could be labeled as ugly. The show was incredibly consistent, and WWE devoting a ton of time to the highly anticipated gauntlet made all the sense in the world. What do you guys think of the Red Brand last night? Let us know in the comments down below. Now let's move on to the news. That first story looks at the truth behind Seth Rollins' injury. Now our top story today looks at the latest when it comes to Seth Rollins and the rumors that his injury could be a total work. Up until yesterday, it was accepted that Rollins' injury at Saturday night's main event was completely real. Rollins was then set to get an MRI on Monday, and the fan footage of Rollins from Saturday night was a key indicator that Rollins was legitimately hurt. However, numerous reports surfaced that shed doubt on the situation. The reliable John Pollock of Post Wrestling is reporting that he was informed ahead of time that an injury angle with Rollins was planned. This angle would be taking place to put him on crutches heading into SummerSlam.
I was told 2 days before this to look out for an injury angle with Seth Rollins it was even described to me, it would be an injury angle that gets him on crutches going into SummerSlam.
This is rather bizarre, as even the way WWE presented the injury on Raw was unique to say the very least. But with that being said, PW Insider has now come through a report that should put the rumors to bed and shed light on the truth behind his injury. According to the reputable site, Rollins was indeed on crutches at Evolution, and the injury is 100% not a work. The belief among those within WWE is that they will have a diagnosis on the severity of Seth Rollins' injury within the next few days. Rollins was on crutches last night at WWE Evolution in Atlanta, Georgia, sporting a big knee brace. There's a lot of fear of a major injury, but nothing has been confirmed yet to the best of our knowledge. The report continued by saying, for those who have asked about reports, this is all some sort of work, it is not, and anyone claiming such is being completely disrespectful to Rollins at this point. As we reported previously, this is not a work, there was no planned cash-in on Saturday night's main event, etc. Now, in relation to whether or not WWE plan on stripping Rollins of the briefcase, that doesn't appear to be the plan. On Raw last night, Paul Heyman outright stated that Rollins has until June 2026 to cash in, and this was obviously WWE's way of telling the audience that Rollins will remain as Mr. Money in the Bank for the foreseeable future. Next up, WWE censors Raw. Did WWE censor chants towards World Champion Gunther last night on Raw, as WWE realized that they made some big mistake with Gunther's booking, as during the in-ring promo, he received loud "you tapped out" chants, and it appears that WWE began to censor them live on air. Is this a case of Triple H regretting that he allowed his World Champion to tap out at WrestleMania? Why else would WWE censor them? There was no profanity within them. Next up, Goldberg injured the referee in his last match ever. Now, Bill Goldberg had his last match ever in WWE at Saturday night's main event, passing out to Gunther. Goldberg has always been criticized for his recklessness in the ring, and his last match ever in WWE was no different, as when Goldberg went to deliver the spear to referee Charles Robinson, Robinson actually revealed on his Instagram account that Goldberg cracked his rib. Robinson took to his Instagram account to say, "Thanks Goldberg, never fear, I'm all man and I can't be kept down. We'll return to SmackDown next week." He also posted a picture of his x-rays showing that his rib had been cracked. I guess Bret Hart has some new material now finally. Next up, the SummerSlam card taking shape. Now, thankfully, WWE have listened to feedback when it comes to recent premium live events. PLEs in 2025 have been criticized for having little to no build at all, and for SummerSlam, WWE have started out strong by confirming a number of major matches for the show on Raw. As things stand, the card will feature John Cena vs Cody Rhodes for the title, Gunther vs CM Punk for the world title, Tiffany Stratton vs Jade Cargill for the WWE women's title, Naomi vs Io Sky vs Rhea Ripley for the women's world title, Becky Lynch vs Lara Valkyria for the women's intercontinental title, Randy Orton and Jelly Roll vs Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. Now, the show is set for 2 nights, and other matches are set to be confirmed, including a Roman Reigns match, which looks to be him teaming with Jey Uso vs Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed. Next up, WWE release a new title, and WWE released a brand new title to celebrate the return of OTC1 Roman Reigns. The title is now available via WWE Shop, and the most striking feature is that it features Reigns' face on the center plate. However, this ain't coming cheap, this will set you back $600. There's no news on whether or not Reigns will use the title on television, but based on the mixed reviews from fans online, it seems unlikely. Personally, from my standpoint, I don't like it. I don't think belts should ever have the wrestler's face on them. Kinda just makes him a little tacky. Next up, the backstage reaction to the world title win. A new world champion Naomi is one of the most popular names in WWE, and according to PW Insider, there was a lot of happiness backstage when Naomi secured the huge W. It was noted that Naomi is respected and appreciated behind the scenes in WWE, so it must have been awesome for the locker room to see one of the most beloved names get their special moment. In fact, even after the show, almost all the women on the card joined together for a group photo. Next up is Evolution 3 incoming. Evolution 2 received critical acclaim, and whilst Triple H's comments on the post-show didn't exactly imply that a sequel was on the way, a new report is incredibly positive when it comes to that possibility. According to PW Insider, the locker room and the executive ranks in WWE were thrilled with the event, and another event should be on the horizon. Among the WWE sources we've spoken to in both the locker room and executive ranks, everyone was thrilled with last night's WWE Evolution. The feeling among those we spoke to is that they'd have to do another Evolution show after the excellent quality of the show last night, but there's no set timetable as to if or when that happens, and those we spoke to made it clear nothing has been decided, just that in their opinion, it's logical that there would be another one after the execution of last night's show. Now, one Reddit post actually hit the nail on the head. User defined mention on Reddit, "If this PLE taught us anything, it's that affordable tickets and a 7-match card are good for the show." He's absolutely right in this sense. Tickets weren't going for astronomical prices, and 7 just seemed like the right number of matches to have on a PLE. Frankly, we don't see that coming for SummerSlam, as we may see Triple H do the usual 5-match format for each night. but WWE doing another installment should be a no-brainer. But time will tell if WWE ever decides to make the show an annual event, which is unlikely. Maybe it might take 7 more years to see another Evolution. Next up, was AJ Lee planned for Evolution? And one of the top rumors ahead of Evolution was a potential return for AJ Lee. AJ's career was being promoted via WWE's YouTube channel, and this led to some fans believing that the former Divas champion could be making a surprise return on the show. However, according to PW Insider, there was zero connection between the YouTube content and a potential return, and AJ remains retired. There was some anticipation that AJ Lee would be there last night among readers since WWE had added content featuring her to their YouTube channels of late, but we're told that there was no connection there. Lee retired in 2015. Now, whilst AJ returning would have been huge to see, she would have likely returned in the Battle Royal, which would have been a slightly underwhelming way to bring back one of the most popular female stars of all time. Next up, WWE have acquired Logan Paul's podcast. The WWE has seemingly attempted to take over the podcast world as they've officially acquired Logan Paul's podcast. The Impulsive podcast is now within the WWE family of podcasts, and whilst the show will remain on YouTube and other audio platforms, they will begin to actively promote the show. Next up, WWE planning a major angle. A Jelly Roll will be hosting the Jimmy Kimmel Show on Wednesday, and WWE great Randy Orton will be a special guest. According to PW Insider, an angle is planned for the show to promote SummerSlam. Based on Roll and Orton teaming up at SummerSlam, it's incredibly likely that both McIntyre and Paul gatecrash the show in some capacity. Finally, a top AEW star almost retired. Now, final story today takes a look at the status of Adam Cole, and his health status could be worse than initially thought. Cole was forced to surrender the TNT Championship at All In, and it later surfaced that Cole was out of action with a concussion. But now, according to Brian Alvarez on the Wrestling Observer Radio, Cole was in a position at All In to legitimately retire, but he decided that he wasn't in the appropriate headspace to make such a definitive call. From what I can gather, he was pretty much ready to go out on Saturday and retire. And I guess, cooler heads prevailed, and it's exactly what he said. He was like, I'm not in the right headspace to make that decision. Cole has had a long and documented history with concussions, and they are something that thankfully wrestling companies now take seriously in 2025. We'd like to once again offer our warm wishes to Cole, and hopefully he's able to step back in the ring once again when his health improves. But there you have it, folks, our look at Raw as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave a comment down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.